yearbook, and then we wrote comments.
Trang Pak is a grusky little biatch. Still true.
Don Schweitzer is a fat virgin.
Still half true.
Hey, I'm talking to you, McFly, you Irish bug.
Oh, hey, Biff. Hey, guys. How are you doing?
You got my homework finished, McFly?
Well, actually, I figured since it wasn't due till Monday.
Hello? Hello? Anybody home? Hey, think, McFly, think. I gotta have time to recopy it. You realize what would happen if I hand in my homework in your handwriting?
Oh, Mr. O'Connell, there's a school rule that says nobody's allowed to wear hats in class, and I don't think anybody should be an exception to that rule, do you?
No, Lana. I'm sorry, but hats are against the dress code. Yeah.
Mamma mia! Look who's trying to fit in now. It's a wig, right?
Oops. Sorry, nothing.
You're starting to get a reputation, and you're coming off as a little pious. You're kind of pissing me off a little more than usual.
I'm sorry if I think it's a best friend's duty to let her know that everyone, and I do mean everyone, is calling her a dirty skank.
Well, do you think I'm a dirty skank? You know, I didn't want to believe it, but I guess it's true.
That is your identifier.
Is that the guy who taped you to the toilet?
Yeah.
Yesterday he shoved me in the washing machine around the house. What was that jerk doing at your house?
Just as many feelings as you do, and it hurts just as much when somebody steps all over them.
God, you're so pathetic. Don't you ever compare yourself to me, okay?
Miss Carolyn Kraft seriously needed to pluck her eyebrows. Her outfit looked like it was picked out by a blind Sunday school teacher. And she had some 99-cent lip gloss on her snaggletooth. And that's when I realized making fun of Carolyn Kraft wouldn't stop her from beating me in this contest.
Contestants, find the limit of this equation.
Calling somebody else fat won't make you any skinnier. Calling someone stupid doesn't make you any smarter. And ruining Regina George's life definitely didn't make me any happier.
But maybe like verbally, you just like people demean other people and they're like, oh, you know, you're kind of dumb or that kind of stuff, like things you don't really see.
I think that a bully is insecure. A bully is someone who gets their kicks from being hurtful to others. Instead of trying to understand why someone is different and using empathy and, you know, minding their own business. I mean, I don't see the point in ridiculing someone. So I would say most of the time a bully is someone who is insecure in them and who they are, and so they need to lash out at others.
The bullies are someone that just probably is insecure, needs attention from other people, so he or she does things to get that attention from other people.
Oh, Charlie Brown! I'll hold the football and you kick it.
You say you'll hold it, but what you really mean is you'll pull it away and I'll land on my back and I'll kill myself.
But I feel I have really come to know you. I now understand that you are kind, compassionate, brave, and funny. No one would pull a football away from a person with all those qualities.
She's right. I would never pull the ball away from someone with all those qualities. I'm gonna kick this ball all the way to the moon.
And gullible. I forgot to mention gullible.
unwanted aggressive behavior among school-age children that involves a real or perceived imbalance. Being bullied?
I have seen physical bullying in the locker room, and I took a stand for what I thought was right.
Can you tell us about that?
One of my friends was kind of basically getting beat up in the locker room, and I took a stand and pushed the kid off him. I don't think I've ever seen a teacher really stop and ask a kid if he or she was okay and really mean it.
Out of 110 students surveyed in the Plano area, 20% have never helped another student being bullied, and only 47% have only done it once.
Are these sour pickles?
Does the campus have the resources to help those who are bullied?
We do have the website where students can go. I think they had a QR code for a while where you could use your phone and report bullying, and we certainly have counseling. Whether that's enough for a particular situation, I can't be the judge of that, but there are resources, and if students do communicate that they're being bullied, then, I feel like people will help them on our campus.
How do administrators help control bullying?
I think basically they have to have the information first. And so if a student is being bullied and they are not reaching out and saying, hey, this is going on, whether it's to a teacher, a friend who reports it to their counselor, or going to the sub-school principal, or filling out a report somewhere, if that communication isn't made, then they don't have the information to do something with. And so, sometimes I think they pull the kids in and have them visit, kind of like in a mediation of sorts, or they pull in both parties and listen to what they have to say. I don't really know all the details of that because, again, I'm in the classroom and I'm not in the sub-school. But, I have had counselors work with students this year on processing various situations and thinking about how they need to respond.
Where does bullying usually occur on campus?
I think the biggest place it occurs is on your phones, on the internet, on, when kids are on the computer. Other than that, it could be anywhere, but I think the social media aspect is probably the biggest place.
How do you describe a bully? If there seems to be so many resources at school for the students in bully prevention, why does nobody know about it?
Yes, we have a counseling center, but half the time the counselors aren't even there.
I don't think there was really much control going on, but more like people have to report it to the counselors. Because our school is so big, it's kind of hard for them to, take care of each individual kid when there's so many of them that they have to take care of, even if there's like so many counselors. I don't really know how the school administration maybe deals with those cases unless you go to the counselor and tell them, hey, I'm being bullied, or I know somebody who's being bullied.
When asked which type of specific bullying have the students personally been affected by, this is what they've answered.
Although 55 students have never been bullied, 49 students out of the survey have been verbally bullied, while 36 students have been socially bullied.
I think mostly the social media aspect, where students will post things because they're bolder whenever they don't have to be face-to-face. And, a lot of students are sensitive to that, and just comments, just offhand comments that a teacher may not pick up on. I'm surprised at a lot of the things that are said back and forth that I feel like I would hear, but I don't necessarily hear until a student comes to me and says, hey, this is going on and it really bothers me, can you address it?
Even though most bullying occurs on campus or from one student to another, most students prefer confiding in another student rather than an administrator, counselor, or even teacher. This proves to be a huge problem in the schools since helping the students is in their job description, but nobody seems to be taking advantage of it.
In the same survey group, 5% of the student population never feel safe at school, while 53% often feel safe at school.
In 2012, the United Nations created Anti-Bullying Day to be observed on May 4th every year. Supporters are encouraged to wear pink to spread awareness for the cause. Many schools participate in an anti-bullying week, but it's mainly just used for dress-up days rather than sending a message.
Those weeks where they're like, don't bully, like Spirit Week, but it's just like, you know, they're like, oh, don't bully. But after those kind of like special occasions, there's no really like any kind of like campaign that says stop bullying.
So what is it that we can do as a community to help prevent this bullying, which can lead to much more serious issues such as depression, self-harm, or even suicide?
Talk to one another, but I feel like in our world today, a lot of times we don't talk. We post things on social media and don't have that conversation so that we can understand each other better. So I feel like if we had more of that, then that would be helpful. It's more just the average kid who faces bullying on a day-to-day basis. You know, for a variety of reasons. It might be how they look, or how they dress, or it could be anything.
I am devastated over the death of 18-year-old Tyler Clementi. If you don't know, Tyler was a bright student at Rutgers University whose life was senselessly cut short. He was outed as being gay on the internet, and he killed himself. Something must be done. This month alone, there have been a shocking number of news stories about teens who have been teased and bullied and then committed suicide, like 13-year-old Seth Walsh in Tehachapi, California, 13-year-old Asher Brown in Cypress, Texas, and 15-year-old Billy Lucas in Greensburg, Indiana. This needs to be a wake-up call to everyone that teenage bullying and teasing is an epidemic in this country and the death rate is climbing. One life lost in this senseless way is tragic. 4 lives lost is a crisis. And these are just the stories we hear about. How many other teens have we lost? How many others are suffering in silence? Being a teenager and figuring out who you are is hard enough without someone attacking you. My heart is breaking for their families, for their friends, and for our society that continues to let this happen. These kids needed us, and we have an obligation to change this. There are messages everywhere that validate this kind of bullying and taunting, and we have to make it stop. We can't let intolerance and ignorance take another kid's life. And I want anyone out there who feels different and alone to know that I know how you feel. And there is help out there, and you can find support in your community. If you need someone to talk to, or if you want to get involved, there's some really great organizations listed on our website. Things will get easier, people's minds will change, and you should be alive to see it.
Teachers and administrators should monitor hallways and other areas where bullying frequently occurs. Longer anti-bullying campaigns should be implemented in school in place of week-long events. These campaigns should encourage students to be inclusive and proactive.